When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech4Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech4Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job and I was out on the street. The computer was able to connect me to the web, and I was able to start putting resumes out. And you have to have these small building blocks to get from point A to point B. I'm not worried about employment anymore.
The need is great, and we want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
Welcome everyone to the Tech4Troops Sunshine 240, brought to you here on the IWM Broadcast Network. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I am Rick Souza here with my co-broadcaster John DeRudris. And John, this is round 2, playoffs, first race, and we are in Florida.
We are in the Sunshine State today, and I am looking forward to an exciting race here in the round of 10. The first race in the round of 10. We have a lot of drivers hungry for a win, and this round is going to be challenging for these drivers, going to various tracks like one at Homestead. It's going to be a great race today in the Sunshine 240, which actually I think will be a night transition. So the Sunshine will set to night light, and we will be under the lights here at Homestead here in a little bit. We got qualifying going on right now with Harley Barletta at the top of the board. But there is Luke Bullard looking to secure his spot into the Championship 4.
All right, and speaking of that, let's take a look at the current point standings. So right now, sitting, this is just after the round of 16 have gone through. That red mark indicates that the top 4 will go on to the championship after this. But right now, your entries: Mr. Bostic, Pittman, Harrell, Bullard, Doucette, Barletta, Narin, Clayman, Ledger, and Hall are all in this second round of the playoffs, the round of 10. So if you are watching tonight, tuning in, anything that has a blue highlight behind their name, those are your top 10 playoff drivers.
Yep, and these guys here at the top, there's really not that much of a gap because we're into the next round of the playoffs. So it's anybody's game. I mean, 1st to 10th is a gap of only 7 points, Rick. So every position matters, especially early on. And if you can secure that win, you'll be locked into the championship at the end of the season at Charlotte. So right now, we're looking on board at Charles Van Scoik. He's driving that lovely SpongeBob paint scheme. Love to see Patrick and SpongeBob here on the track, and he is looking to get a good win. He's not into the next round of this current round of the playoffs, but always a factor to win and always a possibility to win every single week.
That's right. So while we're at it, let's take a look at what your keys to the race is to get to the top of the podium.
Absolutely. So keys to the race for tonight is definitely what we've seen in the past here at Homestead and other tracks similar to this. Conserve tires. You have to be able to conserve your tires. That's really with any given track outside of a super speedway, even really outside of a road course. So here at Homestead, very different corners between turn 1 and turn 2 and 3 and 4. So number 1, conserve tires. Number 2, high line. The high line has speed, especially in 1 and 2. You can run the high line in 3 and 4. I personally am not a huge fan of the 3 and 4 high line, but you can still do it. So that's key number 2. Number 3, I think we're going to see a lot of green flag racing, which means pit stops, which means your pit strategy has to be on point. So knowing when to pit, knowing when the fuel cycle is, knowing when you are going to need to come down pit road is essential to winning here and locking yourself into the championship in 3 weeks. Rick, qualifying is up. Let's see if we can bring the starting order for tonight's Tech4Troops Sunshine 240 underway. Looks like we got Harley Barletta on the pole here at Homestead with John Ledger to his outside starting in 2nd. Ryan Pittman in 3rd. Luke Bullard starting in 4th. Jeff Narin in 5th with Joey Doucette starting in 6th. Ty Bostic in 7th. Christoph Hall in 8th. Tyler Peebles back racing in the number 75 in P9. And Austin Hable rounds out your top 10.
Zach Ward in 11th, to his outside, Sammy Harrell in 13th place, Philip Vandertwick in 14th, Maurice Burnett, 15th is David Clayman, 16th Brad Previtt, 17th Marco Berube, 18th Charles Van Scoik, 19th Zachary Allen, and 20th is Cody Sturgill.
In 21st, Evan Amick. In 22nd, David Watts. Mark Hanna starts in 23rd with Jeff Nini to his outside, starting in 24th. Rick, I think that wraps up our 24-car field here tonight in the Sunshine 240, presented by Tech4Troops 1111 Project and U-Haul.
All right, so we're waiting on the grid. There are a number of drivers who have yet to stage, but look, this is a challenging course. This is one of those tracks where you either love it or you hate it. It really requires a lot of skill because you have 2 different ends of this track, and they're different. They drive different.
For sure. Very, very, very different. And you have to approach them almost in 2 different ways. There's a bump at the exit of 3 and 4 that can get you unsettled. Turn 1 and turn 2 seems to favor the high line. You can run the low line early in the run. But I think it's going to be a matter of who can preserve their tires, who can get themselves in a position to where they can run hard at the end and kind of run away with this. I expect this to be a strategy-heavy race, and you're seeing right now who's kind of getting themselves up to the top. You have 2 AJM drivers, 1 and 2, followed by Ryan Pittman, the solo driver there in his team, with a NB2 Motorsport driver in 4th and 5th. So it's going to be a tight battle for all of these guys. Don't count out the GOAT Racing diecast guys. Don't count out Tyler Peebles and those guys. It's going to be a battle to the end.
Well, 11-11, the average Joe Motorsports guys are sitting right there on front row. They control the inside and the outside lane. So we'll see how this race gets underway. The pace car is about to drop off the track.
Here we go. Race number 1 of the round of 10. Race number 4 out of 7 for the Tech4Troops Cup Series playoffs. And we are under green flag conditions here at the Tech4Troops Sunshine 240. John Ledger on the high side, Harley Barletta at the bottom as we dive into 1.
formations have kind of broken up a little bit as these guys look and find their lines. You're 3 and 4 wide, which we typically see here at Homestead. It's a wide track, and it allows you to go wide on that back stretch as you come into 3 and 4. Some of the, I think, the more challenging, you can see the 19 car of John Ledger. I think he basically rubbed the wall. So easy to do here between 3 and 4.
It is. It's a high line track, and you can see that right now. You see the majority of the guys going to the high side as of late, or as of early as 2 laps into this race, especially going into turn 3 and 4. I like the low line a little bit early on in the run to get some of that tire heat built up, but the high line is definitely preferred here. That's why the high line was my second key to the race. Who can become that Tyler Reddick? Who can become that Kyle Larson and wrap the high side and get the most grip out of their car? So far, that's Harley Barletta leading 3 laps here. That is one more bonus point going into the next 2 races and the final race of the playoffs. Obviously, it'll be a battle of position there, but leading is so important.
Yeah, Harley Barletta is out there in front, but right behind him, you've got John Ledger, Bullard, Pittman, Doucette, Nairn, Bostic, Hall, Ward, and Peebles. You know, the top 10 playoff guys, they're all up there. They're in the top 12.
Oh, Harley Barletta hard into the wall coming out of turn 4. That's going to give John Ledger's teammate, well, John Ledger backed off a little bit. That wasn't give John Ledger a good shot to pass him, but here comes Luke Bullard to the high side of that 19 car out of a 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's part of the challenge of team racing is that, you know, you may give a little because he's your teammate, whereas you may have taken advantage of it if he wasn't. And what that cost Ledger was a position.
Sure, exactly. And you're seeing John Ledger under attack right now from the 08 machine as well. So, you know, positions, they are hard to come by here at Homestead because you have to be aggressive and you have to be able to conserve what you got. So right now we see really 4 distinct lines being run, and that's the cool thing about Homestead, Rick, is that you can run multiple lines. Obviously the high line is preferred, it's fast, but you can take that middle line. You could take the bottom line. There's so many different ways to get around this track and figure it out. Right now it looks like Luke Bullard is a little bit better in 3 and 4 than Barletta is, so we'll see what he's able to do as they exit 4.
Lucas running that high line definitely through 1 and 2. And through 3 and 4, he is committed to that. That's, you know, that is the way to get around here. Your challenge, like many other tracks, is keeping it out of the safer barrier.
Exactly. And right now, Luke Bullard is on the back doorstep of the 81. And like you said, it's all about that high line. Luke Bullard is getting a great exit off of 2 and 4 to try to get around this 81 car. It looks like the 81's chopping 4 a little bit off. 75 got on the wall a little bit on the back. Seems like they're okay. But the 3 car right here seems to carry a lot more speed on corner exit. You can see him start to gain a little bit right there and get to the back doorstep. We'll see if he tries to make a move into 1. Maybe he just sits there and says, "Hey, I'm here. Just remember me. You know, I'm back here."
Well, they've got 160 laps in this event. That's regular laps. That may be overtime. That is available. Speaking of that, quick update on race information. So you've got here in Homestead, your track temperature is 74, which is pretty cool. It's overcast. 160 laps, 60% fuel, no fast repair, 5 sets of tires, 3 green white checkers if we need them. That Tech4Troops scheme skirmish is still up for grabs, and we'll see who qualifies for that. And the winner of the Owl's Nest Racing Pole Award, that was Harley Barletta. All right, the 81 of Harley Barletta continues to lead. The 3 of Luke Bullard right behind. John Ledger is beginning to make a little bit of a move here, trying to get under the 3. But in fact, at this point, Mr. Bullard finds himself surrounded by Average Joe Motorsports drivers. Joey Doucette in the 11, is right there as well with the 19 of Ledger. Obviously, the 81 of Barletta is leading.
Yeah, it looks like these guys are starting to feel the effects of their tires right now. Who's able to save? Who's able to give their tires a little bit more on throttle? And this is where we start to see, okay, where are the tire conditions right now? Harley Barletta out front, clean air. That's what he needs. But Luke Bullard right back there. He's, I think, saving a little bit, being behind that 81, able to get a draft out of the 2 and 4, which helps him out. And some of these guys battling side by side, that's where I see a little bit of a different tire situation, because you don't really want to battle too hard, because you start to use your tires up quite a bit as we see the 11 go to the inside of the 19 out of 4.
So yeah, that 11 is going to really, as you change that different line, you choose to run down a little bit lower, you will find that your tire wear will increase. But that may be the only way to get ahead of where these guys are at.
Sure, it looked like Luke Bullard got a little hot into 1 and 2. Had to check up a little bit, and now he sits back there, still within striking distance of the 81, as the 11 still going to the bottom side. He's really one of the only drivers out of these front 5 that are taking the low line as of right now, so we'll see if that trend holds true. But as it stands, Barletta is in the lead with Luke Bullard in second, John Ledger in third, Joey Doucette in fourth, Pittman in fifth, Jeff Narron in sixth, Zach Ward in seventh, Sammy Harrell in eighth, Christoph Hall in ninth, and Tyler Peters rounds out your top 10.
So a bit farther in the back in the pack, looking at that second group of drivers, that's the 43 of Sammy Harrell. We've got Christoph Hall, Tyler Peebles, Charles Van Scoik, and Ty Bostic back in this group that is just behind the leaders. That pack of 5 drivers there, that is pretty much position 8 through 12. And again, it's a long race, and now they're beginning to see some tire wear happening, and that will change the way you're able to get into these corners and how you manage your car with these worn tires. That's really where you'll begin to see some improvements or impact to your overall lap times.
Yeah, on the last lap, John Ledger and Luke Bullard tagged the wall. Lost a little bit of time there for both of those drivers, and it's definitely impacting them now. You can see it. You have the 11 still on the bottom side of the track. You have multiple drivers changing lanes as of late, 15 laps into this run. And Luke Bullard is, getting as close to the wall as he can on entry as possible, and kind of making his way down the track as the corner goes on, as Joey Doucette still tries to battle him. So a lot of different ways to get around this track, and we'll see which one prevails. 16 laps in, 10% of the way done.
Yep, absolutely. So you see that Joey Doucette continues to choose that middle line as he's working this track while everybody else stays high.
It's an interesting line because it's not as intensive as from a wear perspective as the low line, but not as conservative as the high line. But it still can get you in trouble, which right now he did. He got into the wall coming out of turn 4, which opens up the door for Ryan Pittman to move into third. Ryan Pittman's had a great season so far. He's been able to improve his running order as of late, and here he is running up into the top 5, looking to secure his spot into the round of 4, the championship 4 in Charlotte in 3 weeks. So a lot of these guys needing good runs here tonight.
Yeah, Ryan Pittman currently sits second in the points overall, tied for second, but still right up there in that number 2 position. Only 4 will move on to our finale.
And looking specifically at some of the biggest movers of the race so far. Oh, we got a wreck on the backstretch. Got a car spun to the inside.
That's Ryan Pittman.
I believe that is Ryan Pittman. Yep, Ryan Pittman lost it out of 2. Big playoff implications for Ryan Pittman. No caution came out. But as we were talking about him, something happened out of 2, I believe.
Let's go back and see if we can see just what happened there. Oh, it's the 11 that 11 got loose.
11
Unfortunately,
got loose and
big
hard
front end
impact on the
damage.
wall. Yeah, that's rough. Surprising no caution came out for that. But that's going to put Ryan Pittman way down the line. Remember, no quick repairs, Rick. That is not what Ryan Pittman wanted in this event at all. So can we see Ryan Pittman bounce back in some way? I mean, he looks like he's leveled out a little bit, but don't know how well he's going to do.
His top speed is 20 miles an hour off, at least 10 off the other drivers. There was a lot of damage to that front end. I don't know how he can continue. I don't see any toe link issues, but definitely there could be some engine damage.
There definitely is some engine damage to that 08 machine, and it's tough because we don't have any quick repairs here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series anymore. So that's a rough start for Ryan Pittman's playoff run here, but still being out there, still getting some laps. You never know what's going to happen in with 139 laps to go. There could be some more chaos. As the race goes on, it looks like our biggest mover of the race is Charles Van Scoik, up 12 spots all the way from 18th position. So we'll see what he's able to do. I mentioned him in the pre-race. Even though he's not racing for a championship, he is still one of the best cars week in and week out here driving that lovely SpongeBob scheme. So we'll see what he's able to do as of late. But Rick, 22 laps in. Harley Barletta has about a second gap, 1.2. Oh, car in the wall out of turn 2. Not sure who that is, but there's a car out of turn 2. Austin Habel, maybe? No? Tyler Peebles. Tyler Peebles out of 2, which brings out our first caution of the night.
Yeah, he actually wound up just pitting himself, towing back to the pits. Let's take a quick look at what happened. Let's go back that up just a little bit, get a better look. Yep. So once again, that racing surface to apron caught up to him.
Yes, it did. It's tough when you hit it in just the right way. It almost seems like your car just doesn't want to just stay. I mean, look at that. It looks like he's loose, keeps on getting loose, and next thing you know, he's driving into the inside wall.
Yeah, he tried to save it, but significant damage to the 75.
I'm surprised that brought out the caution. I guess he stopped, which brought out the caution. But Rick, that's our first caution of the night, and we have cars on pit road. Everybody has made their way down pit road here. We'll see who's going to prevail as the leader once these guys cycle through. David Clayman missed his stall. I'll tell you that right now.
He's back out with no, he had to go around.
Charles Van Scoik with the 2-tire stop with Cody Sturgill as well. 2-tire stop. He's going to lead Harley Barletta, Luke Bullard, John Ledger, and Zach Ward out of pit road. So 2 tires, Rick, is the call early on.
Yep, definitely for Cody Sturgill and Charles Van Scoik. The rest, it appears to have taken a full 4-tire change, but David Clayman, that is going to hurt.
I think he definitely missed his stall. Unfortunate for that 17 machine.
So do you go back in?
I would. The whole field has fresher tires than you. I mean, unless you think you can. I mean, I don't know why you just wouldn't stay out on the track there, if you're going to eventually go back around. It's kind of an interesting decision, but I think you have to go back in unless you're playing the strategy of I want to save a set of tires for the end of the race. That is my only thought. I don't know what other strategy you could be implementing here. But David Clayman, to the point, he is a part of the playoff race, isn't he? He's in the playoffs, correct?
He sure is.
Yeah, he is a part. So this could be one of those massive strategy calls that we see here, because that's what it's going to take to win one of these championships, is doing what everybody else doesn't. And I don't know. I mean, could this be the way to go?
So here's
25 laps compared to fresh ones. It's hard to compete.
Especially the first, your best laps are going to be in the low 32s. Or the mid 32s as far as lap speed goes, and then I think they were in the 34 range when they went in. So you're going to be at least a second or so off in speed, and more importantly, here he comes.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see the reasoning, unless he just wanted to get a little bit more fuel. That could be it. Either way, you're going to be at the back. I mean, so I don't really know, but here he comes down pit road right now. We got 1 to green. Interesting call. Maybe he is just going to wait to get fuel and try to beat these guys on some fuel conservation. So who knows?
Well, he got fuel and 4 tires. So unfortunately, that is going to move him to the very back of the pack. All right, lap 26. They'll take the green flag at lap 27. Thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network of the Tech4Troops Sunshine 240 here in Homestead Miami Speedway. You're watching the first race of the round of 10, the second round of the playoffs here for the Tech4Troops Cup Series. We thank you for tuning in. Right now, Charles Van Scoik is the control car, and he will be in charge when our pace car drops off the racing surface. He'll be back underway.
Should be pretty soon here. Yeah, should be pretty soon here. So we'll see what happens. Luke Bullard is there in 4th, trying to get up to the front, obviously. And here we go. Green flag back in the air with 2 cars out front that took 2 tires. So we'll see how that plays out over the long run. That is Cody Sturgill, Charles Van Scoik, 2 teammates looking to play a little bit of a different strategy game as Harley Barletta drifts up the track in 1 and 2.
So this is one of those tracks where if you've taken on fresh tires and fuel tank is full of fuel, you've really got to give yourself a lap or 2 to get those tires up to temp, or you're basically on glass.
I agree, and this is where I think the 2 leaders out front will have a little bit of an advantage. But on the long run, I mean, maybe those left sides really don't matter that much. Maybe the wear's just not there, which is obviously why they made that decision. 81's loose out of 2, opens up the door for the 3. Able to hold on to it, so we'll see. But I think we've seen this out of those guys before, out of Van Scoik, out of Sturgill, out of those the GOAT Racing guys. So we'll see how well this plays out. Not atypical.
No, but those guys have, we've noticed it week after week. They spend time figuring out the what-ifs and looking at the different options for strategy, and they come each week with a plan to be successful.
They do, and that's what it takes. I mean, unfortunately, neither of them in the playoffs, but a win is a win. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter if you're in the playoffs because you move on to potentially win a championship, but still, a win is a win. And we'll see how it plays out here over the next 10 to 15 laps, as the 3 is now getting to the back doorstep of the Sturgill machine, which he is now to the inside.
Yeah, great opportunity for Luke Bullard to get up front.
And that's where I see these.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that's where you see the maneuverability of these 4 tires has a little bit more of an advantage versus the guys that have 2, because they're able to make slightly better moves and have a little more grip from the left side of the car. So that's why you saw the 3 be able to move up right in front of the 64 fairly easily.
Interesting, you're seeing the 41 take that low line, that low approach. Oh, and contact. There's contact between the 19. Well, that was the 7, Zach Ward, and I think the 64 of Sturgill.
Just a little bit. Could we get some 3-wide action here coming out of 4? I don't think so, but yeah, some beating and banging going on here. 32 laps done here at Homestead.
I'm seeing a gaggle of those GOAT diecast cars mixing in amongst some average Joe Motorsports guys.
They're quick. They know what they're doing. And they know how to battle here, as it looks like we have. That is the 7 of Zach. Oh, car on the wall. Luke Bullard on the wall out of 4.
Yep. Man, that safer barrier kind of sucks you in, and it's not like you can easily pull off of it without yanking the wheel.
Yeah, this is one of the tracks where if you get in the wall, you better hold on because you're going to get stuck there. Same thing with Darlington. Darlington, if you get in the wall in 3 and 4, you are just holding on, and you can't do anything unless you decrease your speed quite a bit. So it's one of those tracks, unfortunately. But right now, kind of surprised. Look at Zach Ward. He's been able to close the gap to the 41 fairly quickly in that number 7 car. So could we see Zach Ward making a little bit of a splash here early on? Obviously, he is not a part of the playoffs, but he is still a battle, car that wants to battle week in and week out for the win.
Well, in the first laps that we had prior to this caution, he had turned in a screamer of a lap and actually had the fastest lap for a long time. It was around a 32.65 or 32.68 prior to this round of pit stops. So he's got some speed.
He definitely does. As you see the 19 machine go around Zach Ward, John Ledger looking to make a splash here in the playoffs. See what he's able to do.
Another playoff driver.
Yep, but we have kind of a scattered top 10 right now when it comes to playoff versus non-playoff drivers. Obviously, Van Scoik not a playoff driver, Zach Ward not a playoff driver, but John Ledger, Sammy Harrell, Harley Barletta, everybody else, they are all into playoffs. And outside of Ryan Pittman, they're all kind of battling up there all with each other. David Clayman's back there now making his way up through the field, but 41 got loose out of 4. This opens up the door for the 19 of John Ledger to go to the high side.
And he moves on past the 41 of Charles Van Scoik.
I think Van Scoik's a little loose. I'm watching him on my other screen, and he's kind of battling that wheel a little bit. So maybe you're seeing the tires give.
Well, we're 36 laps in, just underway here after that last pit stop around lap 23, 24. So, we're right around where we've already seen that initial handling begin to go away after, it's not like a lot of tracks you can put 15 or 20 or 25 laps on the tires before you begin to feel and experience that wear. This track seems to be, shorter runs, 10, 12 laps, and you can feel that car begin to push.
Yeah, you're going to notice it out of 4 right here with the 41 machine. It's definitely the handling's gone a little bit on that car, but I think it's going to balance it out here fairly soon. I think that's what Charles is hoping for, that the balance is going to get there, which it will, but we're right in that window where you're going to see what your car actually does when the tires start to heat up. Here's the 7 to the outside of the 41, though, and here comes the 81 and the 3. So obviously the 2 tire stop worked for a period of time, but Luke Bullard back in the wall. He is stuck up there again, Rick.
Yeah, another bit of contact with the safer barrier for the 3 of Luke Bullard. Now, at some point, he's going to experience enough damage where it's not going to allow them to continue.
It could get to that point, and right now, I don't know what the incident counts look like. Right now, it looks like 4 is the most between Ryan Pittman and Joey Doucette. Luke Bullard surprisingly has 0. I don't know how that's possible with him hitting the wall as many times as he has. But maybe it's just not that big of a deal. So we'll see as he goes to the outside of the 41 car, making that move. But right now we got a battle for first. John Ledger and Harrell now battling side by side out of turn 2.
Oh, he took over that lead commandingly. So your new leader, John Ledger, in the 19.
Yeah, John Ledger, he needs a good day, and he has the car to do it. We've seen him battle not only a hard hand or a rough handling car all year, but he's been battling some injuries. So, John would love to secure his spot into the championship 4 by winning early on, so where he can kind of relax and, race number 5 and race number 6 and just focus on that championship. And that's where I think, talking about the playoffs, this is where this race is so important, because once you win the first race of that the preliminary round before the championship, you can focus all your efforts on winning at Charlotte on that championship race. You can start testing earlier. You can start focusing on, okay, this is how I'm going to do it, because only week 2, I think that's still an option for having some success. But really, whoever wins this race has the most favorable odds because just due to time, he doesn't have to worry about the other 2 races. So big playoff implications here. 42 laps in.
Absolutely. Our next week will be at Auto Club, and then our last race of the round of 2 is at Darlington. Another tricky track for racing. No guarantees at either of those tracks.
No, I mean this track race is a little bit more like Auto Club, but Auto Club definitely is a bottom feeding track, at least in 3 and 4. So we'll see how it plays out. But 43 loose.
He saved it. He's got it back.
Lost the spot doing so that moves Zach Ward up to 2nd. But yeah, Darlington, that's going to be a tough race before the final race of the season, the championship race. Whoever wins that's going to be ecstatic to win and move on to the playoffs, because Darlington, anything can happen at a track that's a true driver's track. But Rick, as it stands, John Ledger out front. Sammy Harrell is the next playoff driver, followed by Harley Barletta and Luke Bullard. So John doing a great job.
Absolutely. I think Austin Habel wound up in the pit. He may have retired. I think Tyler Eagles and Jeff Ninney have also retired from tonight.
And just as I said that, Rick, John Ledger got in the wall. And now Zach Ward has broadcaster's curse.
Well, and as I said earlier, this is not an easy track. I mean, it lays out on a Sammy Harrell in the wall. It's so easy to do here.
It really is, and we've seen it time in and time out right here. John Ledger very high on the track, and he's probably going to get his position from the 7. But it's such a tough track because you want to get back in the gas, but you can't. And it's almost like Darlington in that sense. You got to kind of baby the throttle so you don't lose the rear end of the car or slide up the track and lose grip. So definitely throttle control, throttle management here is so important. But I don't think it's going to be the last time we see somebody hit the wall. So we'll see. But 46 laps complete here. Thank you all for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network for this coverage of the Tech4Troops Cup Series, brought to you by Tech4Troops 1111 Project and U-Haul. We would love for you to subscribe to our channel for our growing list of motorsport and iRacing lovers. And we will bring you broadcasts every single week from this series and many more here in the future. So make sure to tune in and get your motorsport fix on a Wednesday night here. So great racing so far, Rick. Only one caution. Pit stops, I think, coming soon. Should be, right?
They sure are. So let's take a quick commercial break. You won't miss any action. We'll be going side by side. So thanks for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Sunshine 240.
When veterans get out of the military, a lot of them don't know how to translate their skill sets into the civilian world, and they lapse into poverty or into homelessness. But it can be easier with the right support. At Tech4Troops, our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce. We want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Sunshine 240 here at Homestead Miami Stadium. You can see it's a late afternoon, early evening, about to go under the lights completely here in Florida. We're on lap 49, and as we said earlier, we are expecting pit stops at some point. They all pitted around lap 23, so we figure that's going to put them, that's They're at 27 laps in now. Thinking lap 35. Is that so?
Should be somewhere around that mark. We'll see. Definitely the first run was a little bit premature just because of the caution, but right now they are going on about car loose on the bottom side of the track. Not really sure who that is, but they're back up in it.
You know, it's an easy bailout, not like other tracks here, where if you do lose it off of 2, the backstretch is so wide, you can kind of catch it back out of the throttle, point the car in the right direction, and get back in the race. But you can only do that for so long.
You can only do it for so long, and you know, we've seen twice tonight where guys have hit the inside wall. Ryan Pittman being one of them, and Tyler Peebles being the other. So we'll see how these guys are able to adjust and get it done. But right now, Rick, it's almost a third of the way through the race, and John Ledger has about a 0.6 of a second gap over him, and second place is Zach Ward. So pit stops coming soon. They are roughly 30. Wow, can't do that. 24 laps on this stint, I believe. So
Charles
they should
Van
be coming
Squick
down with the next 10 laps.
Just went in. The 41 car is now on pit road.
I believe Sammy Harrell just came on the mic. He may be going down pit road. He is going down pit road. So Sammy Harrell is the next driver to make his way down.
Looks like 30 laps from the pit stop.
.30 laps is the mark.
We'll note that for the next round. Now we'll
So
see. We're keeping our eye here on John Ledger. He's your leader. He has not pitted as of yet, and it may be that those guys. Harley Barletta is now on pit road. So we're watching the leader, your leader, John Ledger. He goes by the start-finish line. We're now on lap 55. They last pitted on lap 23. That was 32 laps ago. We expect to see the leaders on pit road anytime. Especially John Ledger. He's been out there by himself, no one to work with. So.
Yeah, but he's also had clean air, so he's been able to get that clean air on the nose of the car. So we'll see. I mean, he's outrunning everybody right now, and by my math, he's going to have to run a little bit longer here in pit stop number 2 or stint number 2 and stint number 3 to be able to make it to the end, because if we are on 30 lap segments, which Van Scoik is, you have to pit on lap 83, 113, and 143, which means 3 more stops to the end. Will that prevail? I don't know. They may be saving some for only doing a 2-stop strategy as this race progresses. But as of right now, John Ledger is out front almost 30 full laps on this stint.
Yeah, lap
close.
57 is now. I keep track of where he is. He's coming. This will be lap about the halfway point. Does he come in this? He's still up high. So is there? So you're seeing John Ledger go around. This is 34 laps, 35 laps. Currently under on this tank of gas. So now if you're 35 laps in your tank, I'm looking for a calculator. So you say he makes it to 60. He'll pit again at 95. Again at 130. and he's done.
Pretty much. That's what I'm guessing on the strategy perspective, and so are a lot of these guys that are up in the front. You know, the only guys that are came down pit road have been Harold, Barletta, Van Scoik, and Allen. Everybody else pitted on lap 23 or 24, so it's gonna be interesting to tail between two strategies. John Ledger back up in the wall out of 4. That's not what he needs. But here comes the 7, Zach Ward down pit road.
So Ledger is not coming in. This is lap 60. So really, we're learning a lot from this green flag session as to what they can do. Now, of course, they did come off a caution, and then so that was at lap 23 when they came in. Then there was at least 2 laps of pacing, and then we went back to green. So, you know,
oh, here he comes.
Here he comes.
Oh, he's loose. Whoa, that was close. Oh, hold on to it. Oh, Rick.
Yeah, the
Seemed
laps,
a little fast.
It
Seemed
did.
a little fast to me.
It is 40. Speed limit is 45 here at Homestead. It is super hard to get down from where you were, but
He hit the line. He hit the line at pit road speed is 50, and he hit the line at 47 miles an hour. So he was all good to go.
all right. Number of drivers are on pit road right now. Ledger, Evan Amick, Brad Previtt, Luke Bullard's now. Luke Bullard spun. Luke Bullard spun.
I feel like we've seen this before out of the 3-car, haven't we? Hasn't he spun on a previous track on pit road entry?
He sure did, yeah. Took him
That's
a
not what Luke
long
wanted.
time to get back down pit road. He has lost a lot of spots.
And he was running up there with some of these guys out front, so that's not what he wanted at all. Tough break for Luke, but one more caution, he'll be back up, battling with those guys.
This is definitely a 4-tire stop with a full tank of fuel.
You have to at this point. That's the only way to go. That's the only way to go. So we have some pit stops here, basically lap 62.
Well, remember, Joey Doucette's leading. Joey Doucette has not pitted. Well, I say that. Here he comes down pit road.
So John Ledger lap 62. I'm going to say Joey Doucette lap 64 because he just crossed the line. So there's definitely 2 strategies there. That's 40 laps, 40 laps on one tank of gas. So that's kind of where the mark is. Maybe 38 laps is a little bit more realistic, but even with that math, it's still a 2-stop stop race from this point on.
There are still drivers on the truck who have not come in. Bostic, Hannah, and Clayman. David Watts has not come in. So Ty Bostic is out there leading. Now, of course, at this point, you're going to get run over by these guys with fresh tires.
You sure are, and I think he just came over the mic to let everybody know he will be coming down pit road this time. If I'm not mistaken, you should see him drop to the bottom side. And yep, here he comes. Ty Bostic on pit road, your leader. I'll say he pit on lap 66. So here comes Mr. Bostic running 41 laps on that stint. Doing the math. Yep, he'll only need 2 more stops. So we'll see how this plays out. Charles Van Scoik was on the front end of this pit stop strategy. So looking at where he pit, Charles Van Scoik pit on lap 51. If you do some math here, let's say he can run 40 and 40. That means he pits on lap 91 and pits on lap 131, which should get him enough to go to the end. So could Charles Van Scoik be a driver to watch out for towards the end? We'll see. But as it stands, only 2 more guys. So actually 1 guy, David Watts, is the only guy that has not come down pit road yet.
I'm just trying trying to figure out how he is out there still, although I think he's coming down pit road right now.
Yep, he is.
So if you do the math from lap 23 to lap 60, and that's 37 laps. We saw a few guys try to stretch it out farther, but that seems to be the best you can do. So 2 more stops, and this race will be in the books.
Absolutely.
So Sammy Harrell is your new leader. Sammy is currently out in front with the over 2-second gap over John Ledger, Harley Barletta, Zach Ward, Charles Van Scoik, Joey Doucette, Bostic, Naren, Hall, and Burnett. So there's as we typically see during a round of green flag pit stops, the field begins to stretch its way out.
It does, and right now we're at that point of the race where we're sitting back and seeing which strategy prevails, who can make their race extended, whether that is via tire strategy, whether that's pit strategy. Right now, Sammy Harrell at the point leading John Ledger. So Sammy Harrell looking to lock his way into the next round of the playoffs.
All right, and with that note, we'll take a quick commercial break. Again, it'll be a side-by-side commercial. We'll be right back. Thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast.
When that
Welcome back to the Tech4Troops Sunshine 240 here on a beautiful evening in the Miami Homestead area of Florida. You're watching round 2 of the playoffs in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. And right now that purple car of Sammy Harrell is out front. That 43 Goat Diecast racing car is leading here with 90 laps to go at Homestead. So just looking around the field, when you take this opportunity to kind of go back through the drivers, they're kind of spread out. Wouldn't hurt to see who's doing what, and get you a shot of your driver. John Ledger is right there in second. John's from Boston, Massachusetts. Behind John, the 7 of Zach Ward, and Zach is at home. This is his hometown and his home track. I'd expect Zach to be doing well.
Yeah, it makes sense. He's run up there in P3. Absolutely.
Sitting in fourth, Harley Barletta, Rochester, New York. Fifth is Charles Van Scoik from Leviton, Pennsylvania. The 11 of Joey Doucette in Oakland, Maine. Joey's a Mainer. Ty Bostic from Rockingham, North Carolina is in 7th. Jeff Naren is currently in 8th. Christoph Hall, another Florida boy from Pensacola, is sitting in 9th. And Luke Bullard is in 10th, another Rockingham, North Carolina. '45 of Mark Hanna, Newport, Tennessee. Philip Vandertwick, I'm not sure where Philip is from, but I know he's there in that 48 car. Evan Amick from Clover, South Carolina. Marco Burby from London, Ontario, Canada. The 17th of David Clayman from Farson, Wyoming. Cody Sturgill from Indianapolis, Indiana in that 64. The 08 of Ryan Pittman from Garner, North Carolina. The 54 of David Watts from Midland, Texas. 91 of Brad Previtt, Temecula, Ontario. 24 of Zach Allen, and Zach is unfortunately retired. All right, that's the field who's out there tonight as we made our way around the Tech4Troops Sunshine 240, and up front, back with your leader, is the 43 of Sammy Harrell. He is right there. I think he's got the 64 of Cody Sturgill right there and in his sights. Cody is the last car on the lead lap in that 64 Goat Racing diecast.
He is, and he's keeping that lead somewhat steady. Got a little loose out of turn 2 that last time, but John Ledger is making his way through the pack, so we'll see what he's able to do as he now closes his way up to the back doorstep of that 43 machine. Definitely something to pay attention to.
Well, remember, when you back at it, the 43 of Sammy Harrell, he pitted last on lap 52 pretty early in the pit cycles, whereas John Ledger pitted on lap 60 to the later side of that pit cycle. So he's got 8 laps to the good, and what we saw here early was that these tires don't, their sweet spot is that first 10, 12, 15 laps, and right now we're now past that.
Exactly.
So our guess here is that we should see another round of pit stops coming around on lap 90. That makes sense, right? Lap 90?
Yes, that would be correct.
All right, so that's in 10 more laps, so we get to see that. But as you see, Sammy Harrell is out in front. Just putting a lap on the 64 of Cody Sturgill. But this is an opportunity, if I was Sammy, to leverage that teammate and kind of pair up and work together, see if they could find some gap between themselves and the third place car of John Ledger.
For sure.
We just crossed the halfway point here at the Tech4Troops Sunshine 240. We just crossed with 80 laps to go. Halfway point. We appreciate you tuning in. We're here each and every Wednesday night for this series, sponsored by Tech4Troops, the 1111 Project, and U-Haul, and we appreciate you tuning in. And if you're watching on YouTube, there's a little shield, little warrior in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. If you could click on that and follow along, we will keep you up to date as to what the IWM broadcast network is doing, and we cover this series here. We have special events, and we have our other league that we cover on Thursday nights, and that's the iNASCAR League, and we are doing all of their cut races and for their playoffs and their final race. And our next race is with them. I believe we are at the Roval in a couple weeks.
It'll be a fun race to call, especially the Roval, a road course, a cutoff race. Can't get much more chaotic than that, can it? I mean, it's just it's one of those races that you don't want to miss.
All right, so if you do subscribe, you'll get a notification when that race is scheduled, and stay tuned here, of course, each and every Wednesday night for the Tech4Troops. We'll have some exciting news. I think we're finalizing some plans for our next year or next 2 years with Tech4Troops, and so we'll get some more details for you in the coming weeks, but stay tuned for some more news. We appreciate you hanging out with us.
Absolutely. Right now, it looks like what happened with the 19? I don't see where he went.
John Ledger is currently in third, but he is 2.5 seconds back. Let's go back to John.
Yeah, not really sure what happened.
Yep, he is just, again, I think he had some more contact with that wall. It's not been good for John today with that safer barrier.
Not at all. Not at all.
So far tonight, 4 retirees. Zach Allen in the 24, Austin Hable in the 6. Tyler Peebles, who you saw have that horrific contact with the inner wall. He has retired, and the 40 of Jeff Nee, he had some connection issues and was unable to continue. You just saw the 19 again of John Ledger making contact with the safer barrier. Smoking some sparks.
Yep, it's there should be a thing called the Homestead stripe, because as many times as these guys have hit the wall tonight, there's definitely some of that nice blue paint on the side of these Tech4Troops Cup Series cars. So we'll see what happens. Pit stops underway here fairly shortly, I would say. Oh, 91 got loose. He's able to save it, but all good there. The pit stop should be coming your way here in the next 3 to 5 laps, I'd say.
The bestie 91 of Brad Previtt. That's been a regular competitor here with the Tech4Troops Cup Series, and we've seen Brad come a long way over the years.
Absolutely, we have.
All right, Sammy Harrell continues to show us, well, wait a minute. I say that, and the 7 car of Zach Ward was threatening.
The hometown boy is here. He's ready to fight.
Battle for the lead here with the 7 of Zach Ward.
He's clear. Crossover.
Zach's got slightly better tires, but Sammy holds on to it. They do have the 17 of David Clayman right in front of them.
Here comes Sammy Harrell down pit road, Rick, for our first stop of this next stint here on lap 90, followed by the 41, 2 teammates down pit road.
That leaves Zach Ward out front. To lead here in Florida at the Tech4Troops Sunshine 240, your new leader, Zach Ward. Oh, and Zach is making his way onto pit road. That puts Zach Ward, Joey Doucette, Harley Barletta, all coming down onto pit road here on lap 91. Pretty much where we thought we would see drivers pitting.
Exactly.
All right, John Ledger is now your new leader. Oh, in the wall. I think that was Luke Bullard, contact with the safer barrier. Now, John Ledger pitted last on lap 60. Here he is in now. Oh, careful.
Getting close, yep.
Yep. All right, now that puts Ty Bostic up front. Now, Ty's an interesting story because he pitted last on lap 65. So he conceivably go another 3 to 4 laps here.
For sure.
But what's that going to do for him overall? I don't know. We haven't done the math yet.
Not really sure. I mean, it's definitely going to matter a little bit, but it's all going to matter towards the back end of this final stint here, approaching lap 160. So we'll see what happens. We have another car on pit road. I believe that is the 64 of Cody Sturgill. And John Ledger is off.
So I think the real opportunity here for Bostic is that for that last stop that he makes, he can make it a little bit later. Drafting is not a factor. and he'll take less fuel.
Yep, exactly.
All right, with pit stops underway, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a way to safely and securely dispose of your old electronic devices? Why not donate them to Tech4Troops? Tech4Troops is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to bridging the technology gap for in-need veterans and their families. The donation process is quick and easy. Simply go to tech4troops.org and click on the donate link at the top right-hand side of the page. Scroll down to access the Give Back Box link. To create your shipping label, click Add to Cart and complete the checkout process. The shipping label is good for up to 50 pounds. You can recycle most standard shipping boxes to send in your devices. Oh, don't forget the power cords. Give new life to your old technology by responsibly recycling with Tech4Troops. Help save the environment and support a veteran.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Sunshine 240. We are in a cycle of green flag pit stops. You're watching your leader, Ty Boston, making his way through. To any time onto pit road. Kind of expect to see him down like momentarily, but
Yeah,
yeah.
should be somewhat soon. Keeping track of all my pit stop math over here. It should be relatively within the next
Well, he
laps.
pitted last on lap 65. We're now at 97. So
Yep, it's coming soon. Maybe
yep,
here within the next
105. Yeah,
5-10 laps, I'd say. Yeah.
Of course, if there happens to be a caution, unfortunately, at this time, that really would be disastrous for a number of these guys, because right now there's only 7 cars on the lead lap who have not gone through this pit stop cycle.
Bingo.
Luke Bullard is now coming in. And there's your leader on pit road.
There he is.
As well, Jeff Nairn is also onto pit road, so that could be expecting to see Philip Vandertwerk on pit road, but right now he may be shown as a leader.
Exactly, I think so. I think he will be.
Now, right now, I've got him and Marco Berube, who have yet to come down onto pit road. Both of them pitted last on lap 63, so they could conceivably have a couple extra laps.
Either way, looking at the pit stops right now, Vandertwerk, Berube, Clayman, those are the guys. David Watts, who have yet to come down pit road from this last stint. So we'll see when they come down, but it's definitely a battle. It's a long run game. It's pit strategy. It's what I called here early on in the race, in the pre-race. It's going to matter. I think Vandertwerk may be coming down this time. Oh, car loose on the front. That was a 41 of Charles Van Scoik, able to gather it back up.
Yeah, David Watts pitted last on lap 66. He seems to be, he's got the longest potential run available. Still a little bit farther back in the field, but still. Now you're seeing the 48 make his way onto pit road. And that puts Sammy Harrell back up front.
Yep, it does.
Now, Sammy has pitted last on lap 89, so he's good to the next window. So the last two drivers who have not pitted, Marco Berube and David Watts. Marco is on the lead lap. David Watts is a lap down. Right now, Sammy Harrell is putting potentially Maurice Burnett in that 88, a lap down. Really, Luke Bullard is the last car on the lead lap.
Looks like the 48 Vandertwick just got a speeding penalty. Not what he needed in this race. So he's back down pit road, serving that. So penalties here in the later stages of the race. And Rick, it's hard. You have to go down pit road, though, ever so slowly as everybody else passes you along the outside.
Because you can get a second speeding penalty serving your penalty.
Exactly.
That is the loneliest time. Well, I take the opportunity to get whatever additional fuel you can.
Sure.
So our leader, Sammy Harrell, back up front after that round of pit stops. Second place, Zach Ward, and third place, Charles Van Scoik. "56 laps to go. We've got one more stop to make. And we're looking at that somewhere between lap 135 and 140. Those who can stay out there the longest will have the shortest pit stop.
Yes, they will. And
you may see some guys only take right side tires.
Which would obviously be a gamble, but I think it's still definitely a possibility within the strategy here. So we'll see. We'll have to see how it plays out.
All right, we appreciate you tuning in. As we've said earlier, this is the first race in our second round, our round of 10 drivers who have qualified from that first round of 16 to make it to the second round of the playoffs. And we've been super fortunate this year. We've got great drivers who have been super consistent, but it's not been one driver. We all season long, it wasn't like we've seen other leagues where you've got 2 or 3 drivers who just dominate and just rack up all the wins. Not this week. It's been spread out to numerous drivers throughout this current season.
It has, and we'll see how it plays out as the season goes on. You know, it's definitely going to be a matter of who can execute at the end. And like you said, the competition is so fierce this year, and it's not just one driver or one team. It's everybody has improved, and what an awesome season we've had so far. Can't wait to have some future seasons, obviously, with, hopefully our title sponsor, Tech4Troops. Love having them on board and helping them with their endeavors and them being a primary sponsor here for the Cup Series. So it's definitely competition's improved, and we are seeing some awesome things out of everybody who's a part of this league. So it's a great thing that we got going. And right now, Sammy Harrell still out front. Has about a car to the inside. That is David Clayman, able to save it.
Keeping an eye on race. That's David Watts now on pit road. That's a scheduled stop for David. He held out the longest. I don't know how long he was able to hold it out there, but he made it happen.
No clue, but he has. "49 laps to go, coming this time by, Rick. One more pit stop, and this race is going to be done. I mean, look at this. It's 9:45 Eastern Time, 8:45 Central. I hope I'm not jinxing the race, but we've had a fairly clean... Oh, thanks, Rick. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Well, if you know anything about our broadcast, we are notorious for not only, calling cautions, but having broadcasters curses and causing cautions. So I hope it doesn't happen, because we've had like a great race, just a great solid race. Strategy is definitely the biggest portion of what this race has been, and we'll see if Sammy Harrell can pull it out, or maybe a non-playoff driver like Warder Van Scoy can give these guys a little bit more hope, which means let's talk about this. If a non-playoff driver wins, that means that one more points-paying spot opens up for the Final Four, which only means 2 drivers have to win to make it into the Final Four instead of 3.
Absolutely. So as I was saying earlier, we've had to get into and qualify for the playoffs. We had 10 different drivers win races.
That's incredible. I mean, that's just shows you, kind of like what almost the Cup Series had.
Pre-next year.
Yeah, exactly. So it's awesome to see, and just shows the testament to these drivers and what they're able to do. So can Sammy Harrell bring home a win here in the 43 car? We'll see here in a matter of 47 laps. But right now, looking at some things, looks like Harley Barletta is battling Ty Bostic a little bit. That's probably the closest battle on the track. A little bit further on back. Kind of nose to tail there, about 0.3 of a second apart. Other than that, everybody else is separated by roughly 1 to 3 seconds as Harley Barletta comes down pit road.
That's an early stop. That's assuming
laps.
You can go 45. So he's gambling. He is absolutely gambling. We did think that we could get. We saw that David Watts, he pitted last on lap 65, and then he made it to lap 107.
That's definitely a risky move, just due to what we know about specifically the pit stops. So 45 laps, Rick, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's
I see 42. I can't see 45.
45, you're making a gamble. I mean, a big gamble, maybe even gambling on a caution to come out to save you, but it's still very risky.
So Barletta went in. He did a full tire and fuel pit stop. 15-second pit stop, a little bit long. 15.38. But he has got to be banking on a caution. And that's the only thing I can think.
100% he does.
So he's back in. He's looking for fresh tires. He's got to be a lap down. So we'll see.
We shall see.
Now, interestingly enough, he is not the first car 1 lap down. He's got a number of cars ahead of him. I think Maurice Burnett, Mark Hanna, and Evan Amick are right now in front of him. So he's got some making up to do.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Oh, he's in the wall.
Oh, that's not good.
With the safer area there.
And we've talked about this before. It just sucks you on in. Nothing you can really do about it. He's had some issues, throughout the evening. You can see the right side of his car all scraped up. Looks like he's got some Darlington stripes, but got the Homestead stripes this race, but still running up there, trying to get back. He did come down pit road, but not what he wanted. Any time lost now is just lost time on the back end of the stint. So we'll see. We'll see if his strategy works. It's bold, though, Rick. Very bold.
Yeah, he is running faster laps than the folks that he is currently behind in the 1 lap down position. So I'm sure he's assuming he's got to catch the 77 of Amick, the 45 of Hannah, and the 88 of Burnett to move himself up further in the pecking order. Now, he did run the fastest last lap with a 32.92. Right now, he is 4 seconds behind Evan Amick. Got that correct. 4 seconds. So as we'll show you, the field is very spread out around this track here in South Florida. And 39 laps to go. We're going to take another commercial break. We'll be right back.
When veterans get out of the military, a lot of them don't know how to translate their skill sets into the civilian world, and they lapse into poverty or into homelessness. But it can be easier with the right support. At Tech4Troops, our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers to get back in the workforce. We want to support our veterans across the nation.
All right, welcome back to the Tech4Troops Sunshine 240 here in Homestead. This is the second round of the playoffs with the Tech4Troops Cup Series. Currently, your leader, Sammy Harrell, in that Go Racing Diecast 43 is out in front. He's got nearly a second and a half over second place, the native Zach Ward, who's right here in second. Charles Van Scoik is in third, and Joey Doucette was in fourth, but he is now making his way down pit road. There's only one more stop to go before this race is in the books, 37 laps. But we're expecting to see people on pit road anytime between now and lap 145. We're seeing some folks gambling and short pitting. Again, in fact, your leader is coming down pit road right now for that same reason. Same with Zach Ward, same with Charles Van Scoik. They are short pitting because it makes total sense. Come in now. This is your last stop of the night, and then you ride with what you got.
Exactly.
We expect this to be a full stop, fuel and tires. All three took right sides and left sides.
It's what you got to do at this point of the race.
Good pit stop by your leader, Sammy Harrell. He is getting off cleanly. That leaves only 6 cars on the lead lap, and Ty Bostic is your leader. That's the 45 of Mark Hanna up in the wall.
Is it going to stay green? I think he's okay.
He's okay, yep. No wreckage, more just another Florida stripe. Call it a Homestead hug. Caution is out. This will change everything. Yellow is out. Second caution of the night. Cody Sturgill has wrecked.
That's not what you wanted to see. That's what nobody wanted to see.
No, that definitely changes everything. there was only 5 cars on the lead lap. Everybody else had made their way down pit road. Some gambling, some not. I think this may be good for Harley Barletta. We'll see how that plays out. But what happened to Cody Sturgill?
I have no clue.
We're watching the 64 of Cody Sturgill right there. Drops down off the racing surface. Looks like he was trying to get into the pits for his pit stop and got hung up on the apron where it met the racing surface. One car made it by, 2 cars made it by. But unfortunately, because he stopped on the track, the caution flew. All right, and now you are seeing a number of drivers make their way down onto pit road. These were the leaders who were able to. Now how this works is if you are on the lead lap, you get to come down first. And if you were a lap down or further, you have to wait to come down the next time by.
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
So who got their lap back? That's the big question. I was not paying attention to.
Was it Sturgill or Burnett?
Not sure.
I'm not sure. Not sure.
I show Christoph Hall as the last car on the lead lap, but we're going to have to wait until this all shakes out. Because at this point, some folks, they've got to come down onto pit road. There'll be some wave arounds. Number of guys on pit road. John Ledger is down, Marco Berube, Evan Amick, Cody Sturgill is on pit road, David Clayman, Philip Vandertwick, David Watts also, Brad Previtt came down onto pit road.
Yep, with 30 to go. This could be the additional money stop, so we'll see what happens.
All right. 31 laps to go. By the time we go back to green flag, we'll be in the 28 laps to go.
Just about, I'd say. 29, 28 to go, and that's right around where the tires definitely start to wear quite a bit if we go all the way to the green flag or to the checkered flag. So right now, Harrell, Bostic, and Bullard, your top 3 going to be a battle all the way to the finish, and you're seeing those playoff drivers start to rise at the top.
Yep, once these, I know there will be at least one wave round, I think. Here they go. Number of drivers, so we'll see how this sets up. I think at least half the field will be on the lead lap. And Joey Doucette is now back on the lead lap for my scoring.
Yes, he is.
Now, Joey pitted last on lap 123, so he on the oldest tires. Well, I'm sorry. Harley Barletta is also on the lead lap. He came down early. Harley did. And he is now sitting in 10th on the lead lap, but he pitted last on lap 114. This totally helps him.
Oh, 100% it does, and that's where, we'll see how it plays out as the green flag is about to fly, but definitely want to pay attention to him. Field stacks up a little bit. Here we go. Green flag back in the air with 30 to go, 29 at the line.
Oh,
big check up in the back of the field. Yeah, that's not good. Don't know what happened. Those are all playoff drivers. Look at that. 4 playoff drivers right there involved in this mess.
Sammy Harrell jumps out to a nice lead. He does have Luke Bullard and Ty Bostic running side by side right behind him. Those are teammates.
Those are teammates. And I'm hearing a lot of chatter over the radio. Not really sure what happened.
I think Bullard
but,
tagged the wall a little bit. Jeff Nairn right there on the back. So it's Bullard, Bostic, and Nairn, all MB2 Motorsports drivers, are currently 2, 3, and 4.
NB2 trying to lock their way into the championship 4. Can one of them get it done? Well, they're all chasing Sammy Harrell in the 43 with 27 laps to go.
Folks, we've got one more spot to run. We're going to run this little side-by-side. Right back. You won't miss a thing.
When veterans get out of the military, a lot of them don't know how to translate their skill sets into the civilian world, and they lapse into poverty or into homelessness. But it can be easier with the right support. At Tech4Troops, our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce. We want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
Hello, my name is Amanda, and I support Tech4Troops.
54 watts.
And just like that, our third caution of the night looks like the 54 of David Watts. Was that correct?
Looks like it.
See here where I see 11 behind him of Joey Doucette. Maybe a little bit of encouragement there.
Maybe a little bit.
Yep, Joey Doucette unfortunately gave a little love tap to the rear bumper of the 54, spun him around, but no harm, no foul, no real damage. He did not stop on the track. Not sure why the caution came out.
Not really sure. I mean, maybe just the way that the car was angled. But that brings out our third caution of the night. Cautions breed cautions here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series, and we have 25 to go.
This will probably give Maurice Burnett potentially his lap back in a wave around. He'll get the
That would be
dog.
correct. Sure, that'd be correct.
Number of drivers are now on pit road. Barletta, Doucette, Hall, Harrell, Van Scoyk, Hanna, Sturgill, Pittman, all on pit road, all getting fresh tires for this last sprint. 24 laps to go. By the time we go back to green, 22, 21 laps. Pretty much they'll run the entire last section of this race with fresh tires.
They will. So we'll see who's able to stay out front and lead laps and not burn up their stuff, because right now it's all about putting it all out there. 24 to go, going to be probably 22 to 21 to go when we get the green flag, and this is what's going to make or break somebody's championship hopes right here. So we'll see.
You know, passing has just not been super easy tonight.
Not at all. And it's something that I expected, because the high line is definitely preferred, and the low line you just can't really pass unless you dive bomb and slide up the track for a slide job. So unless you do that, you can't really do anything. I mean, you may be able to bump the guy in front of you, but it's really it's weird. It's almost a one-lane track in a way, but in a way it's not, because you can manipulate it like other tracks you can't. But we'll see. I mean, right now You got NB2 securing the first 3 spots, which that gives them great opportunity to sweep a race. If we had a team sweep the podium spots this year,
we have not had a full team on the podium.
that'd be a first for everything.
You are correct. So that would be a shocker. Bullard, Bostic, and Naren, all winners, all playoff drivers, although Mr. Bullard's playoff banner is missing from his car. We'll have to speak to the folks at his garage sometime, see if we can get that banner on his paint. But still, we've not had 3 drivers on the podium from the same team. All right, lights are off on top of our pace car. That means next time by, that'll be lap 21. We will go back to green flag racing. 21 laps to go to decide the winner here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Race 1, round 2. Who will it be?
I don't know. All I know is that it's going to be a wild finish. You have Ty Bostic up there. You have Charles Van Scoik trying to battle his way back. Don't forget about Joey Doucette. He's still in this fight. So it's going to be a battle to the end. And don't leave your seat or your couch or your desk or bed, however you watch this. Maybe you're outside. I don't know. In the shower. Who knows? Who knows? Well, thank you, whoever is watching this, and everybody who's tuned in to our variety of streaming platforms. Thank you for tuning in to the Tech4Troops Sunshine 240. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy what you're watching. We have a few more races here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series, and of course, like Rick mentioned, the iNASCAR Racing Series covering a few of their races. So, Rick, going to be 21 to go at the line. All the marbles on the table, all gloves off. Here drops down the pace car. We're ready to get going.
We are green. Luke Bullard is in charge.
Taking the bottom line around 1 and 2. Okay.
Caution's back out.
That's a manual caution.
David Watts.
It showed me that it was an admin caution. I may be wrong, but it could be David Watts.
Let's go back and see. I'm going to try and focus on David Watts here. It's Evan Amick behind him. Let's try to...
Oh, well, nope, that definitely brought out the caution.
Yep, that's the second time, unfortunately, for David. He has been nudged.
That's a polite way to say it.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not sure why we needed a caution for that.
That's twice. iRacing's been pretty sensitive about that.
Makes no sense to me. None whatsoever.
I don't get it.
So we're probably not going to see any drivers come in. They got all of their needs met that last time. In fact, maybe they will shorten this caution up.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good strategy to go forth with this.
Marco Berube was happy. He got his lap back, and he is now back on the lead lap in 13th position. All right. Race control and admin has said that they will not shorten this caution. It'll just play out the way it plays out.
Well, that's probably a good move. Don't want to affect anybody's strategy or race. So, kind of like that move.
Yep. So again, we're having that same conversation. By the time we go back to green flag racing here, lap 17 maybe, we do have a number of drivers who have chosen to pop down onto pit road. Evan Amick, Cody Sturgill, David Clayman are on pit road.
Yep.
So we're on lap 18 with under caution. If 19, so we'll go back to green flag racing with 16 laps to go.
Yes, that'd be correct. Just about.
So the starting lineup hasn't changed much. You know, Bullard, Bostic, and Narin, NB2 is up front. Another opportunity for them to control the start of this race. Zach Ward, who's actually been just really excellent this entire race, is sitting in fourth. You know, I've got a feeling that Zach Ward could play the spoiler here for some of these NB2 guys.
He definitely could. I mean, imagine that, Rick. A non-playoff driver winning. That means that there's one more spot opened up. So the cut line is really not for fourth. It's kind of, I mean, it's still technically fourth, but two drivers can get in off of points. So we'll see. It's going to be a wild finish, all I know for sure. With going to be 16 to go with the line. You got NB2. Zach Ward, non-playoff driver. John Ledger out of AJM. Van Scoik with GOAT. Sammy Harrell, GOAT. AJM, and GOAT. So kind of a three-team battle here for the front 10 spots. 8 of those 10 playoff drivers. 2 of those drivers of Van Scoik and Ward trying to spoil it for the rest of the field. But right now, Luke Bullard looking to punch his ticket into the next and final round of the Tech4Troops Cup Series, racing for a championship down in Charlotte 3 weeks from today.
So really, we had 24 entries tonight. The top 10 are made up with nearly all of the playoff drivers, 8 out of the 10. That's amazing.
It's pretty. It shows you what happened. Obviously, Pittman and Clayman got involved in some stuff, but either way, that shows you, who is going to be here at the end of the races and where people can position themselves towards the end. Pace car dips off. 17 to go, 16 to go at the line. Green flag back in the air. Luke Bullard, Bostic, and Narin, the NB2 guys, take spots 1, 2, and 3 going into the 1.
Great restart for the NB2 camp. Both Bullard and Bostic drop low. Narin stays up high, holds off that high line. Great thought.
Wreck it in the back. Wreck it in the back.
Caution back out again. Ryan Pittman involved, I think, this time.
I would agree. I saw his name pop up over the mic. Not really sure what happened.
So we went nearly this entire race with one caution. And then in these last few laps, a rash of cautions. Now Ryan's been driving with a damaged race car this whole race.
He has, and it's a shout out to him for getting out there and keeping it, going. We'll see. I saw this on the top of the screen a little bit before this caution came out. Oh, he started to go left. Oh no.
The 99 also involved in this wreck. That's the 99 of Marco Berube. Just tearing up the right side of that car. I could be wrong. I thought I saw a toe link. Let me just back it up just a little bit.
Could a toe link have gotten bent maybe right here with some of these side hits from the 99? Maybe the left rear or right rear?
I don't know. I thought it was the right front, but no, that looks pretty square.
He may be all right.
Couple of drivers on pit road: Maurice Burnett, Marco Berube. Ryan Pittman winds up on pit road, trying to get some of that damage repaired. All right, so this is deja vu all over again. 14 laps to go now. By the time we get back underway, we're going to be right there at 11, 12 laps.
Yes, we will.
This further plays into the hands of the NB2 guys. And it's one thing to have to hold off the whole field with 30 laps to go, but 10? A whole lot easier. It's hard enough to pass to begin with.
Exactly. It's hard. It's just so tough to pass here at Homestead, and really, with NB2 being securing the front row and one spot in row 2, you're gonna have to have some pretty gutsy moves to be able to try to get around these guys, because they are in control. They are in control of this race, and they don't want to see any of these guys get out of the top 3, because the higher that all 3 of these guys finish in every race, the higher of a chance that they have to make it to the next round. So they want to do everything they can to keep these guys behind them.
All right, we're keeping an eye here with just 13 laps to go. Luke Bullard is your leader. Ty Bostic is in second. Jeff Nairn is in third. Those are your NB2 drivers. Not far behind them, you've got Ledger, Ward, Van Scoik, Harrell, Doucette, Barletta, and Hall. Officially 13 laps to go. But the lights are still on the pace car by the time they cross it with 12. So they'll go back to green with 11 laps remaining. That being said, though, it's still only our 5th caution of the night.
Which is pretty good, I got to say, for a playoff race and race number 1. The tensions are high. It's going to be a stressful race. Attrition is going to be a major factor. But shout out to all these guys here tonight to put on a great show for everybody. Hopefully you're enjoying it at home or in the office. We know some people who are working right now. So
right.
Depending on when, or maybe if you're watching it on a replay, you never know.
That's right. So Evan Amick was able to get his lap back, so he is
awesome.
We now have 14 cars on the lead lap, which is actually remarkable, seeing we did have a caution come out in the middle of a green flag run, so that always traps people a lap down. So.
Yes, it does. Green flag back out here at Homestead with 11 laps to go. Ty Bostic is to the outside of the 3 car. Can he make a run? Don't know for sure, but here comes the 27 to the high side.
All teammates here.
Oh, 41's
contact.
Loose. Saved it. But here comes the 22, Rick.
Yeah, and the 7 has found an opportunity here by going low. 3 is in the wall. Luke Bullard was up against a safer barrier there. I don't know how it all played out, but these guys now have their back, and now side by side, the 3 is up in front. 22 is high with Jeff Nairn behind him. 10 laps. Oh, they're wrecking.
Uh-oh, big wreck in the back. Zach Allen, 45, 88. Everybody involved in this one, Rick, with 10 to go. And, well, what I tell you, Rick, cautions breed cautions. And I jinxed it, like you said. I did it again. Oh, me.
So that was Maurice Burnett, Zach Ward, and Mark Hanna. Unfortunately for Zach Ward, he was having just a fabulous night. That's definitely affected him.
Unfortunate for that camp. Let's see what happened as we make our way over to the replay booth. 3 wide coming out of turn 2. Ooh, 11 loose.
Hang on, we're trying to look at some different angles here. So what I'm seeing is actually 2 wrecks involved. The 88 of Maurice Burnett was in back with Mark Hanna. All right, let's run here. So here's the initial contact. Mark Hanna in the wall. Maurice Burnett gets hung. He comes back up. They're wrecking big time. Collects Marco Berube is involved. So some big damage there in the back. But what happened with Zach Ward? I want to back that up real quick because that's a whole separate incident.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. What happened? It looked like these guys just got really loose all of a sudden. Zach Ward was battling with the 11 of Joey Doucette, and Joey Doucette just got loose out of turn 2 and got to the right front of the 7 car.
So the 11 is high. He's got the 43 behind him of Sammy Harrell, the 41 below. I mean, there's contact with the 43. I could be wrong. But the 11 comes down, and the 7 just by himself. Looks like he's getting a little loose. He's out of the gas. Sorry for
This is where you start to see. Yeah, that's all good. The 11, you could see start to get the rear end start to step out right here. Nowhere to go. And doing right into the 7.
Yep. Big contact with the safer barrier on the inside wall. Fortunately, the 7 has damage as well. But all right, that was an extended replay. Why? Well, because we like to. So. All right, pace car lights are still on. 7 laps to go. 1, 2, 3 is still Bullard, Bostic, and Naren.
And the lights go out. We're going green this time by. It'll be 5 laps to go. 5-lap shootout to decide race number 1 of the round of 10. Technically race number 4 out of 7 of the Tech4Troops Cup Series playoffs. A lot on the line here for all these NB2 drivers.
This is really a good opportunity for these NB2 guys to rethink the restart because, in my opinion, that last time was probably not how I want my team to come together on a restart.
No, you basically want to have almost almost like a go kind of thing, with the first go being the 3, the second go being the 22, and the third go be the 27, and in that order to where you're distancing yourself from the rest of the field. Let's see if teams orchestrate this all the time in other leagues and the Cup Series. It happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe the 27 gives the 3 a bump. I don't know.
You want to have that 22 car on that outside line slightly back up that outside line.
Exactly. Well, where it's about to go down here, 5 laps to go. Luke Bullard at the point. Green flag back out in the air. Oh, the bottom line stacked up big time, Rick.
Jeff Naren stacked up the... I'm not sure how that was going to play out. We'll just see how it goes.
Jeff Nairn has a little bit of an advantage on the 19. 19 gets loose. That's exactly what he needed. 19 loose out of 2. And here comes the 22 to the inside of the 3 car down in the turn 3.
Good move by the 27. The 43 has got a run, though, on the low side.
Oh, Luke Bullard slammed the wall.
Contact.
We're wrecking again. Oh.
Saved it. They all saved it. Don't know how, but the 43
wow.
saved it in contact with the 19.
Well, this has now become a 2-horse race. 27 again, the wall again. This leaves the 23 and the 22 out to battle this out right now. Car loose in the back. Saved it. All good. 4 laps to go.
2 different lines, same team. 22 is definitely taking after that, taking that low line. The 3 has run that consistently, that high line all race.
Will we see a slide job right here with the 22? He's a little bit clear of the 3. Will he slide up the track right in front of his teammate? No. 3 gets a better run out of turn 2 with 3 laps to go.
Door to door here.
It's interesting that they're door to door, but they're not really losing any ground because of the distance between the 2 cars.
Yeah, they're not.
They're battling.
Yeah, they're not really door to door, but they are. Yeah, they're right side by side, sort of.
Exactly.
A track wide, but they're there.
2 laps to go. The 22 is now not clear of the 3 as they come out of turn 2. The 3 has the advantage going into the 3rd to last corner of this race. 22 back on the inside. Ty Bostic trying to get a little grip. If he wants a chance, he needs to side draft that 3 car. I understand he's your teammate, but you're also going for a win.
Final lap. Final lap here in Florida. Whatever happens, happens. NB2 is 1, 2, 3. 22 drops way low on the track. 3 stays high. They fill in. The 3s, the 27 of Jeff Nairn, he's got his hands full with the 19 of John Ledger on his bumper. His teammates are running far up. Oh, and a big move by Van Scoik. They're all battling for 3rd here.
Here we go. Right with turn 3 or 4. Luke Bullard wins. Ty Bostic in 2nd. And Jeff Nairn finishes in 3rd. A clean sweep of the podium for NB2 Motorsport.
That is a first here in the Tech4Troops Series. NB2 1, 2, 3. Heck of a finish here. We'll get the official results to you momentarily. And they are posted.
There we go. Luke Bullard, your winner here tonight with Ty Bostic in 2nd, Jeff Nairn in 3rd, John Ledger in 4th, Christoph Hall in 5th, Charles Van Scoik in 6th, Sammy Harrell in 7th, Harley Barletta in 8th, Zach Ward in 9th, and Evan Amick rounds out your top 10.
David Clayman finishes in 11th. Good comeback for David. Cody Sturgill in 12th. Ryan Pittman in 13th. Philip Vandertwick in 14th. David Watts in 15th. Marco Berube is in 16th. 17th is Maurice Burnett. 18th, Mark Hanna. 19th is Joey Doucette. Zach Ward finishes in, Brad Previtt in 20th. 21st is Zach Allen. Austin Habel in 22nd. Tyler Peebles in 23rd. Jeff Nadee is in 24th. All right, that is the finish for tonight's Tech4Troops Sunshine 240, brought to you by Tech4Troops, the 1111 Project, and U-Haul. And believe it or not, they are all in the waiting room. What do you say we bring them all in at the same time?
All at once. Do it.
Give me a second here to orchestrate this. We'll make this all happen. So, guys, congratulations. We made this. Since it was fitting that all 3 of you were there at the end, we figured we'd just bring you all in here for the interview.
Sounds good. Like it.
How y'all doing?
Good. Congratulations to NB2. 1, 2, and 3 tonight. And obviously, congratulations, Luke. You punched your ticket to the final.
Boy, it feels good. I'll tell you that.
So, this was a super clean race, very few cautions until the last 30 laps. And then we saw just a plethora of cautions tonight. How'd you keep your sanity?
We never had our sanity, so we can't keep it.
Well, give us your thoughts. You guys were out there and you had to survive 3 or 4 separate restarts with you guys running 1, 2, 3. Obviously, Jeff, you had your hands full on that last restart.
Yeah, I did. I was trying to do, blocking if need be, but try to look after those two in front of me. But we all 3 were talking, and we knew that we definitely needed to be out front on these restarts there with, such few laps ago. We just kind of felt like there would be some incidents, folks trying to make up ground. So, we accomplished what we set out to do, just stay up front and stay out of trouble and just work together. Constant communication between 23 of us. And it's been like that the whole year, and it's really paying off.
Yeah, John and I were talking. I don't think we've had a team, we could be mistaken, but I don't recall a time where we have had, especially in this season particularly, the top 3 positions go to one team. So, that's huge.
Yeah,
for sure.
Cool, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, so that obviously, as I said, that punches Luke your ticket into the final in Charlotte. But even for Jeff and for Ty, that's good playoff points and kind of get yourself positioned to work your way up to be on top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, we'll just keep digging, and now it's Luke's turn to look after us.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you got Auto Club coming up next week. So what are your thoughts going into Auto Club, knowing that, Luke, obviously you're moving on, but what are your thoughts? Do you guys like Auto Club as a track? What is your strategy going into the second to last race before the championship final?
Auto Club's not my personal favorite, but I think it's a good track overall. It's got one of those Michigan-esque type tracks where there's always multiple lanes that work, kind of like Homestead as well. So those are always fun to try to figure out what lane works best for you and try to look out for long run speed and all that type of stuff. So it could be fun. It's not my favorite, but it should kind of play towards a fairly good race.
All right. So again, congratulations to the trio from NB2 Motorsports. Luke Bullard is your winner. Ty Bosick in second. Jeff Naran finishes in third. Guys, any shout-outs tonight?
But just, you guys in the booth and all that, that support this league and put this league on. I mean, we couldn't have the fun on Wednesday nights without you guys, taking time out of your lives to do this, and our sponsors, for what they do to support us. We really appreciate it. It makes for a lot of fun. You got a good group of guys we get to hang out with and make new friends from, all over. So thanks to you guys for allowing us to do this.
We appreciate those kind words. Absolutely. All right, John, I think that kind of wraps it up for tonight here in Florida.
I think it does. So catch us next week. Same broadcast network, same time. We'll be at Auto Club for the 5th race of the Tech4Troops Cup Series playoffs. We're going to be in Auto Club seeing who can lock themselves into the final championship race at Charlotte. It'll be a great one. And then after that, we're going to Darlington. That is the last cutoff race for these Tech4Troops Cup Series guys. So, Rick, great broadcast, and congratulations out to all the MB2 guys here. Congratulations, guys. And we will see you next week.
All right. Good night, folks.
Thanks, guys.